I'm going to read something I wrote about 3 years ago, April 6th of 2023. I encourage all people who get triggered by me or my posts or messages to block me. Long story short. P.S. I was quote-unquote triggered or inspired to write this by an experience of someone close to me who deeply betrayed my trust recently. Then blew up in anger at me about it and said a bunch of really nasty things to me and twisted my words, so I did the same back. It was the last straw. I thought it was the last straw at that time, but hence why I'm saying this publicly, because now it is the last straw. After being used and discarded multiple times, after throwing me some breadcrumbs to reel me back in and then lying and cheating behind my back while I naively trusted again, I was often always polite and meek and tolerant and nice and restrained to this person back if they got upset with me and tried to be the responsible one, trying to fix myself to be good enough for them. So instead, this time, I rejected them back and said exactly what I thought of them and their actions in that moment. After one more nasty, flip-flopping, waffling comment sent to me in a text, I guess that's how they really wanted to leave things. And now I've really learned that. That's how they want things left. I know I'm a good person and I don't need to prove myself to someone socially. I'm naturally very cheerful, zen-like, and wise. It's true. Focused and productive, positive, a happy-go-lucky, can-do type of person that likes to help others and enjoys much about life. I will never stop encouraging truth. Take that how you like. Lots of people have blocked me or ignored me or left me or called me crazy or other bad names because of it. Let's see if I can read without my glasses. I'm not going to make a rhyme about that. Anyway, no, I need my glasses. Go ahead. Added to say, I will not stand for being treated disrespectfully repeatedly by a friend or partner. Momentary blips in a relationship or friendship are pretty easy to handle. That's not what I mean. And if you feel I've disrespected you in any way, please go ahead and ignore me, block me, unfollow, leave me. Actually, better yet, if you are able to, communicate with me respectfully, directly about it, if you're really bothered by it, and confront me so that I can have the chance to handle it with you and fix it and take responsibility for my own side of things as needed. That's how I would want things done. Sorry for moving this around. I try to do the right thing and be considerate with others and believe in using kindness and am wholehearted. Although, like anyone, I'm not perfect and I make mistakes from time to time, which I also have to learn and grow from. I absolutely don't like to be the cause of pain and suffering to another because I know I don't like that too. But recognize, I often match the energy of those who interact with me. I often go out of my way to be super nice to people and friendly and helpful. Truly. But it's sad how people with good hearts can seriously get taken advantage of and hurt. I start out with everyone being very positive and treating anyone who wants to know me with kindness, friendliness, good communication, and giving anyone the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, I would say, probably like 95% of the time, unless somebody is just like a straight up jerk to me, from the get-go, then I don't even waste my time. If you harass me, misuse, or abuse me, try to lead me on with lies, do stuff to hurt me behind my back, which I almost always find out about anyways later, after I've been nice to you and been there for you or been friendly, but you betray my trust or cross my boundaries, I will eventually block, leave, stop all communication. Eventually, of course, if you're a guy that I loved, it might take me about maybe after the 103rd time, then I finally learn. I may even bite back and speak out about it if the damage has been great. Even people with good hearts can only be dragged in the mud, beaten and kicked so long before they can take it anymore. I'm sorry, sort of, in a way. You have to be a different kind of caliber of person to be in my inner circle. Lots in the past who have been close with me lie to me or act disrespectful with me and then blame me and accuse me of being a bad person for telling them like it is, calling a spade and not putting up with it. It's just very disappointing, sometimes even heartbreaking, depending on the situation. I'm very perceptive. It's funny, just a little segue, side story from that. I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, and she was telling me about how, there was this really creepy guy at the pools yesterday that she was talking to, or she got wrapped up in a conversation with, but she was she was just there to go for her swim, and she was just trying to get on with it. But she was stuck in this conversation with this guy for about 15 minutes who kept asking her questions and trying to keep her in the conversation and so on. And then as she was leaving, he chased her down and was trying to offer her, get her to move into a spare room, and telling her about a spare room in his house or something like that. And she's like, why are you telling me about this? What, and he ended up, he was like, well, I just thought, maybe we could, go on a date, and she's I don't know, 39 or something. And he's in his 60s, and she's like, no, sorry, I have to go now. But I was telling her, I can very often pick up on a person's vibe. Very often, not always. Sometimes I'm wrong. But I can usually spot them from the early stages and act accordingly. And she's like, I wish I could, I wish I had that, sense, I didn't even pick up on it, kind of a thing. Anyway, it's just kind of a weird thing about me. Literally one for one, every time someone is hypercritical of me and can't handle it with decent communication, I find out later they had something to hide from me that they knew was hurtful or had done something to me, that they then justified in their own minds by calling me a bad person, lying about it to me, or getting upset with me over something which is really nothing, a non-issue or invented. This is a touchy subject. I'm going to have to continue this in another thing. This is a touchy subject for some, but one which I've had to pull up my sleeves recently and deal with a few little fires in this arena. Really not my favorite thing to do, however. It is, however, something which ideally is handled with utmost grace, manners, empathy, compassion, understanding, and good affinity, with the end goal of clearing things up in a decent manner with the restoration of peace, respect, and or continuing. Unfortunately, things did not resolve this way with this most recent person. We all know who that is. Who I'm no longer in contact with, and sadly probably won't ever be again. She says, 3 years ago. Wow. Got led on for another roughly 3 years. And that's on me, because I'm stupid. Stupid, silly. I only say sadly because most of what we had between us was really great, except towards the end. I first met this person when I was 16. I will be 44 this year. I'm going to be 47 this year. That's nuts. That's nuts. Being perceptive, a sort of ESP, that is something I gained early on in life from some very special study and self-development. Actually, I've always kind of been this way, and I feel things quite deeply. Aesthetics and admiration are my favorites, though. Spreading these higher emotions has always been a purpose of mine, depth of thought and awareness and higher intelligence. It's both a blessing and a curse. Lots approach me not knowing this about me and then get burned, assuming I'm just a dumb, ditzy, airheaded chick. Of course, I am that too sometimes. So, the best of both worlds, I guess. Yeah, go ahead. And then blame me later for the whole thing, whatever it is. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Happens a lot with me, which is why I keep my circle quite small now. I don't have to be popular. I don't really care. I don't have to have a million friends. I don't have to. Just a few is good, like a handful. That's okay with me. And it's okay with me to be single, too. I quite like it, actually, for the time being. That's okay with me. I've learned how to be happy alone. I don't need anyone, quite frankly. Yup, quite true. If I trust you, know that it's a deeper kind of trust, and I'm really trusting you through lots of hard-won experience, although I went back to the same person several times. Oh, big mistake. Big mistake. I got burned so bad. So bad. Trusting over and over again and getting lied to over and over again. Anyway, I try to trust people from the get-go, but it's difficult for me. Honestly, not yet. Whatever. I was just saying generally. It's true. It takes me a while to kind of build up my trust for somebody now. Which, honestly, who just meets someone and fully trusts? I don't know. It's just if I'm gonna be in a friendship or a relationship with someone, it takes me a little while. But I'm a tiger. Well, actually, no, a lion. No, a liger. Don't mess with me. Thanks. P.S. S.S. Psst, 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 psst. In saying all of this, I'd like to say that I still believe love and truth outshine hate and lies. Love is a risk. Do it anyway.